So a couple of things that are coming up on this podcast. So bit of Warriors action. Andrew Webster getting up there, skill coaching, kicking Roosters in RLW. Worked with Golden Boot, Taran Aitken, Moana Pacifica at the moment, in there with Tana Umanga, who's the head coach, and up there for December and January, plus a lot of other things that are coming up. So what do you want to jump into first, KP?
Yeah, I think as I will take over some of the hosting duty for this, I think the first one that's sort of probably for keen, skilled listeners and people who are looking to make a bit of a change and have a crack at the season this year, and it's one that I hadn't put on the list, but I did want to sort of surprise you with, is popped off for us on socials, Bronco time, and reducing that. But one of the things that I'm pretty keen to see, and you've updated the stories a few times, what do you think players should be doing coming into 2025 preseason? And if you had to put it down just to 3 things they should be focusing on, I remember you put this on the stories. What should it be and why?
I love that about the Bronco time. And I literally got a message today saying, thanks for that tip. It's knocked 20 seconds off my Bronco. I've had a few crazy experiences. As a player, I used to love it. Like, there's players in teams. Rugby's so unique. You've got big, heavy front rowers who aren't a fan of Broncos. You've got fit people that are. Some people don't really care. They just do them. I always had Bronco as a strength, and I attacked it. Like, I've been in teams coaching where there's been so much anxiety around the Bronco test, and coming into preseason after time away and day one, oh shit, we're doing a Bronco. Nerves spewing. Why are we doing this? What's the point? People in tears, like just the. And you look across social media, every super club's posting their day one Bronco, and it's sort of a thing now. And I think that's the game you're playing. That's the test they've chosen. Why not lean into the challenge of getting better at it and showing them that, yep, I can. You've given me this equation to be good at. I can be diligent, work hard, and improve my Bronco test with strategy, with fitness, and get after it. So the piece of content you said that really worked well, it was just me explaining that when you do a Bronco test, which is 20 meters back, 40 meters back, 60 meters back, as a shuttle, you do that times 5, and usual times range between about 4 minutes 12, which is Bowden Barrett, probably the best in New Zealand, 4 minute 12, all the way up to 7 minutes, just depending on where you come in on that scale. And my piece of advice, and the thing that I quite often see, is people do like the 20 hard, the 40 hard, and then they use like the 60 as a just cruise and just stride out, get my breath back. But I see players that if they get after the 60 and cover, because it's really a distant test, right? You're all running the same amount of distance. So on that 60, if we can cover that distance there and back faster and get after that leg, your time's going to improve so much. Already people literally just running their 60 harder has knocked off sort of 10, 15, 20 seconds purely from just that strategy without even having to get fitter. So, And then the second thing you mentioned around just that advice at this period, we see Super Rugby players, we see All Blacks and giant Springboks, and they just look like these big hulks, and we think that muscle and gym's the way to get there. And that takes years, that takes academy, 10 years of just deliberate gym training, being consistent. You're not going to turn into a hulk in 2 months and be a good rugby player as well. So all I was saying is that, yep, gym's important, but let's have a rugby ball. Let's get our skill sessions. And instead of doing like in the summer, you'll quite often see 3K runs, 5K runs, get into more shuttle-based fitness. So broken Broncos, 20-meter shuttles, added down up. Be creative with that hard work stuff that actually lines up with rugby. A 3K run where you're kind of just getting through it and nothing's explosive or really rugby specific doesn't actually have a big advantage for you as a rugby player. So, yeah, that's how I'd attack the preseason.